is never the answer. Whoever murdered her, allegedly, they missed the memo. And it just goes to show that that person definitely did not do his homework when it comes to Ashlee. They missed the memo. The detective hat is back on when it comes to Ashlee Jenaes. And I have been ignoring the fact that they said so many things about her, whether or not she's anti-black men or whatever her job description is. I would mention it if it's deemed necessary to bring forward my point. But for me, yes, you are often, that's the operative word there. You are often defined by your stance, because that's how many people are defining Joe in terms of what he is illustrating on many of his posts. So I guess it's only fair for people to come at Ashlee with what she posted on Twitter or on Instagram, many of which was said ages ago when she was just hitting adulthood. Guys, we are often judged based on, of course, how we dress, how we speak, who we hang out with. They say you're known by the company you keep, right? But there are many sayings that were true years ago that are often not true today. But perhaps one could say that some people don't change. It's not necessarily true. It depends. It depends on what it is. I've watched people change. You change only if you want to change. But with that said, Ashlee had said many things during her late adolescent years as well as her early adult years. And they were used by the haters or by certain demographics that deem it necessary to come at her, and some of them even going as far as to gloat, because whatever they said were realized. That is really your enemy when your demise doesn't even garner any ounce of sympathy. As if they have never made any mistakes. As if they have never said anything in their lives that are not reflective of them right now. No. But as one TikTok member said, one thing that was omitted is that Ashlee mentioned, she said, and I quote, "Suicide is never the answer." And this was dated the 2nd of June 2013 at 9:07 p.m. Which means that whoever has the audacity, the balls, the whatever, however, whoever had the audacity to say that Ashlee committed suicide, they were paying attention to the other things she said about, oh, black men always find ways to embarrass us. You know what? There are so many people that do find ways to embarrass us. It's not just black men, it's white men, it's Asian men, it's all kind of people, as long as you're a human being. But context is everything. And people say whatever they want to say at certain times. Sometimes your reaction is often quick. Delayed reaction is often better. But we don't always have the fortitude. We don't always have the discipline to be like that. So I would forgive her. But one of the things they failed to mention is this, when she said, suicide is never the answer. So guess what? Whoever murdered her, allegedly, they missed the memo. And with missing the memo, it just goes to show that if she was ordered to be murdered and for it to appear like a suicide, they missed the memo. It just goes to show that person definitely did not do his homework when it comes to Ashlee. That person, they were blinded by a lot of things. Sometimes you often think that beauty is all a woman has. And because in many instances I find that the black body is very disposable. It not only through and other form of killing, but some people just think that we as black women, we are just disposable. They could just lust. They could just do whatever they feel like. And because they have a system on their side, they could get away with it. But this person, he missed the memo. And there were a lot of talks going around. I've been listening, I've been watching, where many are saying that, oh, she has arrived in the US and the ring is missing. Well, of course the ring is missing. Was it ever really meant for her? For real? Keep in mind, that ring has insurance on it. Imagine its cost. And imagine how much it may likely be insured for. Some people, they tend to overinflate. Yeah, I think somebody was convicted for that. A lot of people do that. I hope to God I never do. If that has to happen, it would be very much by error, because I'm not good at math. But let me tell you something. There's often a huge motive behind certain people's actions and the explanations that they have for it. Sometimes the explanation doesn't stand up to no litmus test, nothing. But they would give it to you anyway. I am sure that whoever took the ring off, if it's missing, it would be because they wanted to protect it. Or they would say they don't know where it is. That may have gone towards, potentially under the table somewhere, It's probably being broken down into many pieces by now. It's probably being melted. Would we ever know? I hope it shows up. But guys, to go back on Ashlee's statement many years ago, and as I've said, we say things that we often change our minds on. If she did change her mind on that, if she did commit suicide, it's a likelihood she was helped. Guys, we cannot negate the fact that often we could be happy and joyful 1 minute, and then something could happen in the next instant, and you are shocked. There are many cases where people are shocked that your neighbor did what? He did what? No, not Sylvia. She would never ever do that. She poisoned who? What? There are many reactions like that about people that we know for years that we never in a million years would think would do certain things. And they would do it because we don't know what demons are often driving them to do certain things at certain times. But I am still in the camp where I believe Ashlee did not commit suicide. And I'm going to stick to that. I do hope that her family find closure. I do hope that wherever the ring is, it would show up, and that the investigation is not compromised in any way. And I'm holding on for justice. I have faith. And I'm going to keep on following this until we see justice emerge. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more, because it does take a lot to jump onto this story and to look beneath the surface and not just regurgitating what everybody else is saying. So let's keep at this. Comment below if you really think that Ashlee committed suicide. I'll see you in the next one.